The granddaughter of the original mother leopard was called Manana. And the rangers at Londolozi called her 3-4 because she had a spot pattern of 3 on the left and 4 on the right. And she became a very, very famous leopard. She was right in the core of Londolozi Game Reserve, and literally thousands and probably millions of pictures were taken of her. She had a beautiful temperament, and she's the only leopard that I know of that died of natural causes. And during the last years of her life, I had got into the habit of sitting on the ground with her. She was so relaxed that I could sit literally 15 feet away from her on the ground and just draw the energy from this magnificent cat. And one day I was with James Boone, and he was filming for National Geographic, and he was sitting in the Jeep, and I was sitting on the ground with Manana. And it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, pretty hot. The game drives had all gone back to camp. And Manana stood up, and she walked about 20 meters away from me and turned and looked back at me. And some instinct told me she's inviting me to go and hunt with her. I picked up my camera. I was unarmed. I signaled to James for him to stay in the Jeep, and I started to walk with Manana. And it ended up being 3 of the greatest hours of my entire life. We hunted for about an hour. We got nothing. She was walking in front of me. Occasionally she'd turn and glare at me as if to say, "You're making too much noise." And she was gliding through the thick bush. I was getting tangled in the bushes. And then she decided she's going to take a rest. So she pulled into a little thicket about 15 feet across. There was only one entrance into that thicket. And she sat in the thicket, and she was regulating her temperature. She was panting. The tongue was flowing with the air over it. And there she sat in the cool of the thicket. And the cleverest animal on the earth sat out in the heat, 38, 40 degrees. And I was sweating like anything. Had my camera with me, and there I sat. And then she did a strange thing. She stood up in the thicket and moved to the side of the thicket and lay down again. And I said to myself, maybe she's making space for me. And what went through my mind at that time was when she was 4 years old, with her first litter, she had got psychoptic mange. And I had darted her, I treated her with a new drug that was on the market, Ivermectin, and I had saved her life and saved the life of her 2 cubs. And what went through my mind is maybe this leopard is repaying me for that kindness that I showed her that day. And so I crawled into the thicket, and there I sat, almost within touching distance of her. And she sat there just panting. This is a wild leopard now, never been touched by human hands. And there she sat, and the humans sat next to her. I never rolled a single frame of film, not a single frame. And after about 45 minutes, she decided to continue the hunt. And as she came past me, the tail brushed across my face like that. And she went out and down the game path, and I followed. And we followed for about another hour. And we came on a herd of impala, and the herd of impala was grazing towards us, and she flattened down on the game path. And I was behind her, and the thought going through my mind was perhaps I could become the first cameraman to capture a leopard kill on foot outside the vehicle. And so I was on all fours, and I had my camera ready. And I was ready to go. I had it on high speed, 120 frames per second, an old film Arriflex camera. And I was going to whip the camera and punch it into the high speed and try to capture this kill. And Manana turned and her eyes drilled into me. And I could read her clearly. Get down flat. The impala are coming towards us. And she was flat, right flat on the ground. So I flattened out. I put the camera on the one side and I just flattened out. And I remember the tail flicking in front of my eyes like this. And she was staring upwards like this. And the impala came forward and forward and forward. They were unaware of our presence. And then I heard the plane, Comair, coming, bringing the tourists in. The runway was about a half a kilometre in front of us. And I thought to myself, damn, this aeroplane's going to upset the hunt. And as the plane descended, the impala looked up like that. And Manana just went like a rocket for the throat. I jumped to my feet. And I whipped the camera left and right, looking for the leopard, looking for the action. And then I heard to the right, I heard, the distress call of the impala. Manana had the impala in the jaws. Now the attitude was different. Before she was taking me hunting, now I could be a rival going to take her kill away. She snarled at me and backed off. But it was the most incredible moment of my life to be with a wild leopard for 3 hours, hunting and finally a successful kill. And I have tried to immortalize that one moment as she lay with the impala coming towards us. She lay and I lay right behind her with the tail flicking in front of my eyes. And that is the moment I'm going to ask Robbie Rohrer to try to capture in bronze for immortality. I'm JV, tread lightly on the earth.
Should I interfere with nature's natural course? Should I shoot you and the cubs with drugs filled in the dirt? Should I save your life to live another day? Manana, you are beautiful. Let me hear you say, oh Manana, oh ho ho Manana, oh Manana, oh ho ho Manana, oh Manana, oh ho ho Manana.
Icon leopard famous, you enriched my life, thank you. An inspiration always, a river running through, a river running through.
People came from across the world to share your story too, to glimpse a moment of your life, take a photograph or two. A mother and a hunter, ambassador for me and you. Manana, you will never die. Manana, I love you. Oh Manana, oh ho ho Manana,
Oh Manana,
oh ho ho Manana,
oh Manana,
oh ho ho Manana.
icon leopard famous, you enriched my life, thank you. An inspiration always, a river running through, a river running through.
You are old now, you cannot catch the prey. Should I let you starve to death? Should I let you slip away? Should I bring you food? It's a secret between you and me. Manana, you will never die. The legacy's in the dreams.